He anchors the Weekend Update on Saturday Night Live, and he has recently quit the nasty habit of smoking. Norm Macdonald. Norm! Now, you're a young iconoclast, Norm. You know, the kids, they get you.
What? I was going to wear a suit, and
I don't need to. I like this old D.B. Cooper look for you, man. This is... Now,
is he the guy that jumped out of the plane?
No. He's married to Alice Cooper. Now, the thing You remember you wrote for my first talk show?
Yeah, you gave me my
and
first
I used
job.
to come in the room, and you and Drake Sather had no lights on. It was like some fucking Anton LaVey Satan cult in there, and you guys used to turn out the sickest jokes ever, and everybody was always smoking. Then I see you on Saturday Night Live during the opening credits, and one of the things I like about you is you're completely unfiltered on that show. You'll say anything, and I saw in the picture you had a cigarette in your mouth. This guy just doesn't give a shit. So I asked you to come on. I find out you pussed out on me and quit smoking. What is that all about?
No, because it's bad for you. They have these fucking things on the side. You have to read the fine print where it says, it's bad.
Now, when did you first start smoking?
I started smoking when I was a kid, like when I was, I think I was like 14, and I thought, I'll look really cool like if I start smoking, because I didn't get along with anybody. So I started smoking. Wouldn't you know it, I did look cool. All of a sudden, all these broads like me and everything. Not broads, but ladies, girls, women. And it was hard though, man, because I was guilty about it all the time I smoked, because I always thought, I always knew it was bad for me, you know? Like, even though some guys will say that it's good because their uncle lived long or something and he smoked, and they'll go, hey, what about, that old guy, Bert Mustin, what about that guy, And then he just because he lived long, that doesn't mean anything, right? That's just one guy. You can't, just because Bert Mustin lived long, you're all of a sudden...
You did your master's thesis on this, didn't you? Now, did people bother you a lot when you're smoking? Were people pissed off when...
Yeah, people don't like when you smoke, They're bothered, like... I gotta admit, though, secondhand smoke is bad. Like, I don't like... When I smoked, I didn't like secondhand smoke. Yeah. I like that first-hand smoke, because you get to suck it right out of the cigarette, And the second-hand... Any fucking thing that's already been ingested by someone is not as good, You know what I mean? Like a pork sandwich is delicious, but after a digested pork sandwich, that's fucking shit.
You can't fight that logic, Norman. You cannot? Do you think advertising brings kids to smoking? There's a lot of fight with the Joe Camel thing. Do you think they really?
Yeah, definitely they got it. Because the thing is this. The advertisers, they got to go after kids because they're not going to get adults. Like, there's not going to be a 50-year-old guy going, hey, I should start smoking. That goddamn Camel. Look at him. They got to get little children.
Joe Camel.
Yeah.
That's a frightening-looking beast.
He looks like a cock. I read it. Yeah. I didn't make this up.
And I know you don't mind first-hand cock, but...
You don't know that. Don't say that. I know how this stuff happens, man. Because a buddy of mine worked on Saturday Night Live, and he said he was a fag once, as a joke. And then he said everybody comes up to him and saying, are you a fag? Gay man, I mean?
Show about smoking. They thought you meant the British word for cigarette. All right.
Exactly. Can I bum a fag? That's what they say in England.
Where else? All right.
The thing about Joe Camel looking like a cock, Dennis.
I lost my train of thought. Thanks for bringing me back.
This is what I've noticed. He doesn't even look like a fucking camel. He looks so much like a cock. Because you know how it's usually subliminal?
Yeah.
Where you have to find the cock, right? This character, you have to find the goddamn camel.
Yeah, believe me, when you only get 2 humps out of a cock, it's not worth smoking. All right, now, line 2, we got a phone call for you. Although I can't believe they'd still be on the line after this departure. Line 2, we've got Beverly from Middletown, Ohio. Beverly?
Yeah, hi, Dennis. Hi, Norm.
Hi, you didn't know my name, I don't think.
Yes, I did. I watched Saturday night.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
I liked it when Dennis was on it.
Yeah, I did too. I watch Dennis every Friday.
Get out of here. You're great at that, man. You're great at this. You know why? Because you don't give a shit about Dennis. You know what I mean? It's like the best thing you can do. Whenever I'd go on, they'd go, what's it like following Chevy? And I like Chevy. He makes me laugh. I mean, what the fuck do I think about Chevy? I'm trying to make a living here.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
And when I see you, I know you're thinking the same thing. Like, screw Dennis. I'm killing. Okay, anyway, go ahead. What's your question?
Okay, since nicotine is such an addictive drug, do you think someday you'll have to have a prescription to buy a pack of cigarettes?
Well, you know, they always bring up the Constitution and talk about how we should still have the right to a militia and all that. But let's face facts, this country was built on tobacco growers. So, you know, if you're going to start changing, if you're not going to change one thing because it comes from way back then, you can't change this either. There are farmers out there who make a living. Tobacco is one of the crops that got this country going. So, no, I don't think they'll ever make it illegal.
Yeah, no, they shouldn't make it illegal. I know.
I think Norm's backing me up on that. What motivated you to quit?
Well, I guess, you know, I read this thing about how it was like a phallic symbol, and that my doctor went in. He said, you probably have an oral fixation, which you know what that means. Let's not kid ourselves, right? So that's why I always smoke like cigarettes instead of cigars, because if I'm gonna have I like a little white thin cock, you know.
Are we back to cocks again? I go away to Ohio, Middletown, the center of the universe, to take a nice clean call, and then I space out. I'm thinking, I can't listen to Norm for a second. I gotta get a time cue here. I come back and you're talking about having a thin white cock in your...
I don't have a thin white cock. In my cock, you mean?
No.
In my mouth. No, you misunderstand.
Oh,
What I'm
okay.
saying is this. I'm just saying
Don't make the mistake of thinking I fucking listen to you.
I just want to make it clear about that cock thing. I was just saying, if I ever was gay, if they like suddenly made it mandatory or something, then I would choose the smallest cock, and I would like a guy that came fast. I don't know. I thought the subject was cock.
No, cocks is next week.
I'm sorry. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Norm Macdonald, ladies and gentlemen. Don't you?
No, I was just thinking, you know, because they have that Viagra thing out.
Yeah.
And the other day, you know, Bob Dole came right out and said,
He was one of the first.
yeah. And, you don't want to hear about Bob Dole's cock, you know? I mean, President Clinton's cock, Bob Dole's cock, what the hell? But mostly, an old man like that, you don't want him to have a super hard cock. You know what I mean?
Why?
Why? Because an old man, you want him to be, got a pipe going, a newspaper, the dog at his feet there.
Well, that in some corners is considered pipe.
Oh. But now they're going to have to create some goddamn pill that makes women aroused at the sight of a fucking 70-year-old dude with a super hard cock. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. This is Viagra. It's insane. And you know what it's for? Impotent people. All right,
Yeah.
It's for impotent guys. So get this. I read this. The pill can make your cock hard for 4 hours.
Right.
So now, who has the 4-hour hard cock? The impotent guy. The rest of us are fucked. Me and you got our regular cocks. Meanwhile, fucking Spade is,
Prefer to spade.
Oh, man. I didn't see it.
I didn't see it coming.
Dude, I
either.
know you didn't. He brought it all around and then a vicious rip kick into his best friend's gut.
Once there's too much cock talk, I try to just zone out for a minute till it goes back the other way.
If there's too much cock talk, this guy has fevered nightmares all night. Dreams, I mean, like sweaty, fevered dreams from the cock talk that's been all over his head. Cock, cock,
Why
cock.
bury me twice? He's killing me.
No, he's a good man.
That erased it. All right.
No, he's a good man.
Who cares?
After all that, that's
Gays.
that's the whiteout he puts on.
Yeah, I know, it's awful.
After he talks about you doing chin-ups on cock for 18 minutes. No, he's a good guy.
If you're gay, he's a completely straight guy. He gets a lot of ladies. You know that about him with the ladies?
Don't say ladies.
Women, girls?
Okay, thank you. Ladies, what are we, fucking on an FM station here?
He's Don Cornelius.
But these gay guys, man, I was reading, you know about the...
These gay guys.
I haven't even said hi yet. All right, tell me what it is with these gay
I
guys.
know, I'm already.
I just read this thing about the Michael, George
You're reading
Michael.
a lot, aren't you?
Yeah, I got a little time off. Now I read the newspaper. And this is really strikes me about the gay community. I don't know if they're a community, but
Called West Hollywood.
yeah, they're gay, and it's, you know, George Michaels. He hangs around the bathroom. He has sex with multiple guys. This is like,
No way. You got to get it right. Hangs around the bathroom,
Right.
and it was described as a lewd behavior, but I don't remember sex with numerous guys.
well, what
Is
is
that
he,
what you took away from it?
what does he do?
What were you, in the next stall?
I could have been just having a nice bathroom regular thing.
I don't know what lewd behavior is, but I don't know that he was in there with numerous guys. But
this
anyway,
is
go ahead.
def-
We get the gist of
This
it.
is definitely a gay thing, like, because this is a pop superstar. You know what I
Right.
mean? You're not going to walk into a bathroom and all of a sudden Farrah Fawcett's like, ah, you know? You're not going to...
I love it.
What I'm saying is, why would a famous
Wait,
pop...
what was she doing? What was that, some sort of cervical belt sander thing, or what was that? Oh, Christ, what are you, Linda Blair?
They
I
do.
don't know.
That's what they do. Right?
That's what ladies that I know do. But
Good to know that primetime exposure's paying dividends there, big
But
guy.
I think that's what it is. It's that the gay, that's why they have separate bathrooms. Let's face it. If they had women and, you know, women, as you call them, I call them ladies. If you had them in the same bathroom,
Like Ally McBeal.
like you go in the bathroom to do your business, see a man about a dog there, you know, and you're in the bathroom. You're in the bathroom. All of a sudden, a beautiful lady comes out. Oh, here's my vagina and breasts. You're going to be hanging out at that bathroom a lot. So I don't blame anybody for anything.
Can you believe Olmeyer didn't get him?
We're all the same, man.
Have you ever met Olmeyer since then?
Don Olmeyer I met once, yeah, after he fired me.
Yeah.
Then I went and visited him in his office, which it wasn't an office I've never seen. It was like a wet bar and a bunch of weird sports trophies. He's a big sports guy, you know.
Yeah.
So he explained it to me what happened, but he did it all with sports stuff, you know. Like you said, man, you see, you're the number 3 hitter, but now you're going to be number 8. And then later on, Ken Griffey will show up. I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. And then I said, well, Christ, man, what the hell am I supposed to do? And he goes, I don't know, just walk it off, you know. And
I'll put it in sports terms why you got fired. You were fucking with OJ too much. That's exactly why you were fired, man.
well, I don't know.
That's
about
his
that.
buddy.
Yeah, it's his buddy.
Yeah. Well, that's why you got canned.
OJ's a good guy. I mean, he's not.
Well, we got to end on that, Normie, but there's what they'll remember
Hey,
you by. OJ's a
congratulations,
good guy.
man.
Thanks
You're
for coming
100.
on. Norm Macdonald and David Spade. Stick around.
New songs on the radio sounding fake. Prince and Genesis for better anyway. Anyway. Am I just me?
The
Naturally, we have the good taste to bring tonight's guest back. Every season, he is as uncensored a wit as they come. His new sitcom, The Norm Show, is on ABC Wednesdays at 9:30. Please welcome George Wendt, ladies and gentlemen.
They thought they were getting...
Georgie Wendt! Norby!
How you doing, man?
How are you?
I'm all right. How's it going?
Year in, year out, my favorite guest.
All right, you're a good man.
Because you have no inner barometer of how far to go.
Well, no, because it's HBO. I like to be dirty, you know, and it's fun.
You know what you are? You're like a profane child. That's how I think of you, because you always say, I like to be dirty. Then you go up on this Pynchon-esque cock rant for like 3 minutes. Yeah, cocks are ugly, and Joe Campbell's a cock, and you're always shuffling your feet. What are you nervous about? You're a star, for Christ's sake. How's that sitcom world? Is that hell, or do you like that over there?
It's not a lot of fun, but, you know, it's good to do.
No, it's not on Ohlmeyer's. Has Ohlmeyer sent you a congratulatory telegram, or what word am I looking for there?
Ohlmeyer, I haven't heard any missive, I think.
Who's the Ohlmeyer at your network?
This lady, Jamie Tarsus.
She think you're funny?
Yeah.
Ohlmeyer's not even there anymore, isn't it? Isn't
No.
one of his last official duties to
Yeah,
whack you?
Yeah. He took off, and they got this other guy, I think it's maybe Sammy Sosa. I don't know.
Scott Sassa.
Scott Sassa.
All right, now I want to do a Rorschach thing. What flashes into your mind when I say bad taste? What do you find bad taste?
Well, there was this performance art guy, I remember in New York, that his whole big thing was he'd take a picture of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ of Nazareth, and then...
Oh, that's Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And then his whole act is he'd piss on it with his cock.
Wow, you know, at least he showed respect. He could have pissed with his, what, arm?
Oh, you're right. So I thought that was really and horribly bad
That's over
taste.
the line, as far as...
Yeah, because Jesus Christ, you know, he died for the guy's sin, and then the guy pisses on his picture. And it was a picture of Jesus dying for his sins. Like he was on the cross going, oh, I'm dying for the guy's sins. And then this guy's like pissing all over it. But, you know, when Judgment Day comes, he's going to have to face Jesus Christ of Almighty of Nazareth, you know.
And Jesus is going to say, hey, asshole, what's with the peeing on my picture?
Yeah. That negates every other good thing he ever did, you know.
Yeah.
He's like, you don't piss on my picture.
Yeah. You don't want to come up to the gates of heaven, God's leaning there with a nunchuck strapped around his neck, you know. How do you
go, I'll have some performance art for you while the fucking devil shoves some coal up your ass.
As I said before, the childlike outro. But effective. How do you define bad taste? Is it like beauty? Is it in the eye of the beholder, or what?
Yeah, it kind of is. You know, it depends on what people... Some people, like, get all upset over certain words. Like, they think that... Like, girls all the time, man, when I'm talking to them, like, if I go, hey, how about you and I, like, fuck, you know? and then the girl always goes, like, I don't fuck, I make love. I make love. And I go, I don't care, whatever you want to call, as long as my dirty cock's involved, you know? I don't care. I'm not gonna get in a semantic argument. Or, you know, you can call it making a grilled cheese sandwich as long as there's a lot of me doing that kind of thing.
Now, what's the earliest into a hitting on a woman that you've ever said, I want to fuck you? Like, you give it a couple minutes, right?
I try to get into it pretty quick. You know?
Throw that trump card down. No, if you're in the game.
I don't, because I don't like, I don't ever ask them, would you like to have dinner? I don't really like having dinner with them. or having a drink with them or anything like that.
No.
You know,
So that's your sort of exchange with women is.
Yeah, I say, hey, how about you and me fuck? And then they go, no. And then they go, how about we have dinner? And I go, I don't like dinner. You don't like fucking.
So it's pretty basic thing you have with women. Kind of a basic exchange.
I'm not good with girls.
When do you remember first being cognizant of bad taste? You know, because when you're a little kid, everything's kind of funny. You know, like farting is explosively funny.
Right.
When do you remember first being able to differentiate between bad taste and good taste?
I know when you're a kid, you'll say anything. Like, I don't remember much, but I have a little boy, you know, a sweet little boy.
You have a son?
Yeah, he's a
Norm,
good boy.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
Yeah. You want to say hey to him?
Yeah, hey, well, you
he
better
can't
watch
this
this.
show. That's what I always say. You can't watch Daddy.
Right. So little Dylan and I went to El Pollo Loco. Yeah.
His original name was Zimmerman, though, right?
No. I thought that would be the coolest name as I was a kid. I never heard anybody named Dylan. I said, this will be because I love Dylan Thomas.
Right.
So I said, this will be a cool name for a kid, and I thought it'd be unique, and now every fucking kid is Dylan. And they named him after that 90210 guy. Can you imagine? That's what I read in not a book, but a periodical. So anyway, little Dylan and I were getting some chicken at the Pollo Loco.
Right.
And kids are so wonderful, you know that.
Unfiltered.
They're unfiltered, exactly.
Yes.
So we're standing beside this huge fat broad, you know. And so
Not as unfiltered as Daddy, but unfiltered.
So me and little Dylan are behind her, and he goes, Daddy, look how fat she is. And then so I had not said, you're not supposed to call fat people fat to him, so it wasn't his fault. So I said, no, Dylan, shit, enough with that. And he goes, I bet she's going to eat a lot of chicken. I bet. It was really funny because everybody was looking at her. And then right at that moment, the guy goes, yes, ma'am, what would you like? And she was like, I'll have 2 pieces of chicken. You know, she was going to order like 8 full whole chickens, you know.
Well, how do you know that?
Yeah. How do I know that?
Yeah, maybe she wasn't going to order 8 full chicken.
Oh, no,
Maybe she was...
because right when she ordered the 2 chickens, she did like the shifty eye, you know? I don't do a good shifty eye.
So you're behind her in line and yet able to discern the subtle REM-like movements of her eyeballs.
You got me on that one, man. I made that part up.
You don't even have a son!
For the purposes of that anecdote, I am not Darren.
I thought you were going to be quick and say, it was Linda Blair! We got a phone call for you, believe it or not. Fat woman from El Pollo Loco. No. It's Murtaugh from Miami, Florida. Murtaugh!
Hey, Dennis. Hey, Norm.
How are you, Mert?
I'm good. You know, I can't wait to see your new show. It really looks good.
Oh, yeah.
Well, when's it on again, Normie? Remind me. You're one of my friends. I'll let you plug capriciously.
Okay, it's on
Oh, come on, you gotta get this. Huh?
When
Who's
is
in
it
it?
on? When
Are
is
you
it
in
on?
it?
Yes. It's on a Wednesday at 9:30 on the American Broadcasting Corporation.
All right. So, what's your question there, Mert?
Okay, why is it people like this annoying Joan Rivers, you know, always criticize people's bad taste at the Academy Awards, you know, like Gwyneth Paltrow, who's like the hottest chick on earth. And, well, she has no taste in fashion whatsoever, you know, man? I mean, God.
Well, I don't. You know what? I feel awkward here
funny,
because I
Joan
met Joan
Rivers.
Rivers once, and she was so nice to me and so funny. But I agree with him to some extent when she gets like lays into Kathy Bates or saying, Kathy Bates never did anything wrong by her. And I just think there's that slight tinge of desperation in Joan sometimes nowadays, you know, that she'll say anything, and that kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes that makes me uncomfortable. But, you know, she's a good dame, and she does a great show
I hate
there.
Slam and other celebrities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Remember when Spade did that, how he lived his life in fear?
To Eddie?
Well, to Eddie, you know, to Eddie
a lot of
specifically,
people, right?
but
Yeah.
Spade used to do that Hollywood moment. Spade, he's a great guy, he's one of our best friends, but he was always scared shitless because he made his whole thing out there just trashing people, and they would get pissed and call him, and he was always like living in fear. He never goes to Hollywood parties because he's afraid somebody's going to kick his little Sputnik ass.
Right, because everybody he insults is like 2.5 feet taller than him.
Now, Norm, have you ever Have you ever done anything in your long and storied career that you consider specifically to be in bad taste as you look back on it? Maybe at the time you thought it was a good play, but you look back on it and you think that was in bad taste.
Well, sometimes, like in stand-up, I'll do jokes that are like one time I was doing this thing in San Francisco, and they were all gay people in the audience. They told me, so I figured I'd
in San Francisco?
Yeah.
No.
So I figured I'd do stuff about gay people so that they could relate to it.
Yeah, it's warm up. They love that.
And so I was talking about, because I went to this gay pride parade, and I saw in it there were these old men and old ladies like with these signs that said, "We are proud of our gay son," you know? And so I was saying, that's an odd thing to be proud of, you know, because it's not an achievement, you know? It's not like something you work all your life to be gay or anything like that. And I just wondered, I had a hard time believing that these 50, 60-year-old men are actually bragging, you know, at work like they're, "Hey, Bill, you know, my kid, oh my God, we're proud of him, Johnny. He graduated from Harvard, you know, first in his class, you know what I mean? Now he's articling over at a law firm, and, oh yeah, he loves cock." You know? This kid, he can't get enough cock in his mouth, his ass, this kid's always cock. I got a picture of the boy here sucking another man's cock. I want to show it to you.
To watch the maturation of you as an artist, to realize it took you 9.5 minutes to get around to the sucking cock stuff. It's beautiful to see you comfortable in your own skin, Normie. All right. The Norm Show, 9:30. What night? Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday.
ABC. Good luck with it. Norm Macdonald. Stick around. Norm will do the news. Norm Macdonald, ladies. Now, Norman, you're an inventive guy. Which of the current batch of inventions has tickled your fancy? What do you like?
Well, Henry Ford just invented the assembly line there,
Right.
you know?
Yeah,
and that was good because he wanted, you know, not just rich people, but anyone to drive over and see his cock.
Is there any other one that's caught your fancy?
There was Alexander Graham Bell.
Yeah.
You know, he invented the telephone.
Right.
So he could call people up, tell them to come on over and see his cock, you know, because he was tired of yelling it out the window. So, hey,
Theme development.
check out my cock.
So, Norm, I hear you just got back from New York City. What's happening in Gotham?
Oh, my God. Well, the big thing is the new Empire State Building. Have you seen this?
I've heard. I have not seen yet.
Oh, it's crazy. What I'm interested in is the original architect's blueprint, you know?
Yes.
It called for the building to be painted flesh tone, Dennis, with a large rounded head so the architect could lie on the street and pretend he had a 1,000-foot cock. Frank Lloyd Wright, more like Frank Lloyd Cock.
So, Norm, tell me, what's your take on this whole Cold War thing?
Well, my brother works down at the UN, right? And you remember last week when Khrushchev was banging his shoe on the table?
Crazy bastard.
Yeah. So my brother was sitting beside him, and Khrushchev, like, he accidentally slips, and my brother gets hit right in the cock.
With the shoe?
Yeah, by Khrushchev's shoe. So my brother turns to him, he says, "Hey, you hit me in the cock again, you dirty commie, I'll bury you."
So what's been happening, man?
Oh, man, I dropped acid the other week. That is bizarre stuff.
Really?
Yeah, my cock started singing to me. I like Joe Cocker.
Stood for something other than just being Mexico's bitch. I say if President Clinton 296 doesn't snap us out of this downward spiral we're in, we dump his gay ass. Next election process, we clone Jesse Ventura again, bring him back. Hey, Norm.
Hey, you know what I think they should put on the dark side of the moon?
What?
Vast fields of bioengineered hydroponically grown cock. Yeah, you know, like a backup supply just in case our earthbound supply of cock might run out one day.
Cock tucked away for a cocky day.
Exactly. Look at my head, man. It looks like a cock.
It does.
Cock. 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 That's just my opinion. I could be wrong.
The smartest cat I ever knew at SNL, and a much revered figure there is joining us for another segment. This is my former producer, longtime writer and contributor, Jim Downey. Jim, I had Norm on the show yesterday. I always thought Norm, from the first second I saw him, was just a flat-out misanthropic genius. I always gave him a wide berth as far as time schedules and that, because I just said, well, I'm going to grab Amadeus and tell him he has to be here to do busy work. You know what I mean? That isn't going to happen. So I think he's a genius. What was it like to work with him on Update?
Well, he is a genius and the most fearless performer. He likes people to laugh at his stuff. He enjoys that, but it's sort of one of like, half a dozen important aspects of what he does. Mm-hmm. So that if he really loves a joke or a bit, he will happily go out there and do it, whatever the response is. And there was if you want to hear a story,
I love me a Norm story.
One time we were in the office doing Update stuff, and there'd been a news item about there was going to be a newspaper for the homeless, and so we were thinking about doing some of that. So we started improvising. It was more of a scene, not something we could do on the segment, but it was like a tough kind of Perry White kind of editor going like, "You, Miller, I want 500 words on going to the bathroom in your pants. You, Immel, give me something. Give me a human interest thing on urine stain matter. You, was that kind of thing. Yeah. And like a lot of like photos, maybe some, a little human side. What are pets, that kind of thing. And so nothing came of it, and I sort of forgot we had the conversation. And then the first meeting we have after the summer, Norm comes in and goes, "Hey, Downey, remember that that thing we were talking about there with the remember that thing with the newspaper for the homeless, that thing, the homeless newspaper?" And I go, yeah. He goes, yeah, well, I was out in L.A. and I was asked to do this benefit, for the coalition to feed the homeless, and I'm going, no. And he goes, yeah, I did that bit, They hated it. Hated it.
All right, you tell me now. That's the Andy Kaufman part of the joke, or is he actually surprised that they hated it? That's what I can't quite figure with Look.
I know.
Jimmy calls in here periodically and says that he has bought a puppet and he wants to work material out on the show. And I'll say, well, tell me about the puppet. And it's an old man puppet who's a Holocaust denier. And it's obviously just Norm sitting at home talking as Norm. He makes no pretension to a puppet voice.
I know.
And I think he's Andy. I don't know. I view a lot of Andy Kaufman in there. It's just
he also would like to, one of the things that he would really enjoy just getting into a character, and then you could not get him out of it. Like he liked doing old man stuff,
yes,
like being an old geezer and complaining about aches and pains and stuff like that. And then you go, okay, Norm, now seriously, now we actually have to talk about he'd start doing stuff about rheumatism and things like that, and you just had to plead with him to just stop. But he was on his own kind of set of rhythms.
The speed with which he would take his sport coat off at the end of his Letterman impression always I would watch the thing just to watch, because Letterman's so ill at ease with show business, always makes this conscious show of getting rid of the sport coat at the end of the show. And when Norm picked up on that and did that as impression, God, I fell out.
I learned a little bit about that was Norm. And of course, Norm's a little crazy, but Norm, a big host would come and we'd all get all hopped up, like, okay, Rosie's gonna bring in big ratings. Let's get our AP. Where's my goat? I'm gonna throw out a goat. And Norm would sit there in the pitch meeting. We'd all be dead serious. Will would throw out, I'm going to do a cheerleader.
Right.
This one and that. And Norm would be like, yeah, I got a sketch ready. You're going in your pants, And you're just walking around. And you're like, yeah, I'm the guy with the in my pants. I hate this guy. And you look at him like he was nuts, but he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, Norm knew exactly. Listen, one of the single funniest things I've ever seen in my life is when he did Letterman, how quickly he would throw the sport coat off at the end of the sketch. Nothing made me laugh harder than Norm.
doing Letterman, and I said to him, "What's with the sport?" You know how Letterman, how ill at ease he is with show business.
Yeah.
Norm said, "That's all I had at the beginning. The essence of it was his discomfort." I said, "This guy's a freaking genius."
He is a genius. He would warm up the crowd. Now, when I would warm up the crowd, I would warm it up like I was playing the Garden, and I wanted to teach everyone a lesson. If I'm cut from tonight, I want you to know I should have been on.
That I was a badass.
Yeah, I'd warm up the crowd, kill. Norm would go up behind me, and he'd go, hey, you know, Jim Brewer and these guys, he's got all these great impressions, you know. So I said, well, I better learn some impressions. So, are you guys all ready? This is my newest impression of these. I love it. Because here's Ed Sullivan. And I'm like, he's really going to do Ed Sullivan? Like, why would you? He goes, Ed Sullivan introducing the Beatles. And he goes, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Beatles. Well, I got to work on that one a little bit. I'll see you during the show.
He's got a little Andy Kaufman in him, Norm. He likes to frustrate, titillate a little, but then periodically he'll say something like, "You know, I feel sorry for the homeless guy's dog, because you know the dog's thinking this is the longest walk I've ever been on." Norm's hosting a sports show now, Jimbo, on Comedy Central.
Oh, that's dangerous. You and I both know that can be very.
Yeah, but that is a panel I volunteer for, because I want to be in the blast side of that when that goes off, because that is going to be a.
Hey, now listen, did I hear some rumble that Brother Sandler sent out Maseratis to the cast of Grown Ups? Did you reap the benefit?
First of all, let me just say one thing. Nothing's better than Nancy Pelosi Augustus reference.
Pelosi Augustus.
I'm still swooning over that one. Yeah, Stanley gave Maseratis to Spade, Schneider, Kevin James, Chris Rock, all of whom need one, by the way.
Right, exactly. What'd you get?
No bitterness, but me and Norm Macdonald, yeah, we're splitting a zip car.
And you know, you split a zip car with Norm. It's like having one of those, those Christmas trees the drivers have that smells like North Slope Sensimilla.
Yeah, this car, I don't know, they must have been smoking pot in here or something.
Norm cancels on us once every 2 weeks, and I almost enjoy it more than him showing up at this point, because he always wants me to talk to some ventriloquist puppet that he says is on the phone. A Holocaust tonight. What has happened to Norman?
And then when he sees she's going to go, how come you never have me on your show?
Nope.
We tried to get you on. What?
Nobody funnier, though. I mean, you got to give it to him.
Nobody funnier.
That guy, if I'm in a room with him for 10 minutes, they got to put the paddles on me, because I flat